Episode 1243, The Night Divinity Knocked and Left with Laughter. Narrated by Sayip Tiger, caretaker of ancient secrets, accidental host to gods. Narrator, Tiger's voice, sly, amused, almost confessional. They say if you live long enough, you see the rise and fall of civilizations, the birth of gods, and the retirement of ideologies. What they don't tell you is this. Sometimes the gods themselves call you for dinner, and they are worse guests than nosy relatives. Let me take you back to Christmas night 2015. The year when world was busy taking selfies with Santa hats, while I was trying to figure out how to feed Krishna and Jesus without offending either their taste buds or their theological brand identities. The call. The call came around 7 p.m. My old rotary phone, the one I kept for sentimental reasons, buzzed as if it was possessed. I picked it up. No hello, no Merry Christmas, just Krishna's unmistakably playful voice. Ayo, Tiger. Me and Yesus thought of dropping by. Just casual, just light dinner, just universal love types, okay? We'll reach by 10-ish. Maybe earlier, if clouds cooperate. I blinked. Wait, tonight, Christmas night? Krishna chuckled like a mischievous flute note. Of course, perfect night. All your noisy humanlings are distracted eating plum cake and forwarding bad memes. No one will notice two slightly luminous, suspiciously divine houseguests. Before I could protest, he hung up. The problem, divine diet dilemmas. You see, Krishna and Jesus visiting is not the problem. The problem is food. My usual diet consisted of half-cooked rabbit, deep-fried goat, occasional raw bull when emotions ran high. Krishna and Jesus? Fruits, nuts, sattvic minimalism, smiling at food without actually eating it. Every time they came over, I had to behave like an organic farm influencer, so I personally plucked mangoes, guavas, gooseberries, and some outrageously sour wild lemons from my tiny garden. One gooseberry tree, by the way, technically belonged to a Crow Mafia gang, but I negotiated tribute rights years ago. I sent my assistant, Kutan, away for the night with a simple instruction. Go, watch fireworks. Or invent some, just don't be here. Arrival, style over silence. At exactly 9:47 p.m, a soft, surreal light bloomed near the mango tree. Krishna appeared first, barefoot, wearing an indigo kurta stolen straight from 16th century Vrindavan, but somehow sporting Ray-Ban sunglasses on his head. Behind him, Jesus stepped out, robe flowing like a politician's manifesto, barefoot, hair slightly damp as if he just washed it in the Periyar. Krishna winked. Surprise early arrival. We beat traffic. Also, Merry slightly off-center Christmas, old boy. Jesus smiled warmly, adjusting the strap of a small satchel that looked suspiciously like a bag of infinite chapatis. They hugged me. Krishna smelled faintly of sandalwood and unreasonable hope. Jesus smelled like frankincense and that strange, clean breeze you smell before a miracle. The divine dinner. I led them to the courtyard where I laid a simple spread, jackfruits, mangoes, tender coconut water served in suspiciously dusty glasses. Krishna inspected the mangoes seriously. No pesticides, no capitalist exploitation, no hidden GST. I assured him everything was farm to mouth. Jesus laughed. Relax, Govinda. Even the worms have unionized now. They picked fruits casually, chatting in a mix of Sanskrit, Aramaic, and that universal language known as teasing an old tiger. Unexpected visitors. Trouble dressed in dhoti and cassock. Just when the conversation had turned into Krishna joking about opening a divine startup, Leela Unlimited spreading joy and mild confusion since yugas, I heard two distinct, disastrous sounds. The determined trudge of a temple priest's rubber sandals. The awkward cough of a church father balancing theology and cholesterol. I froze. Krishna whispered, "Uh-oh, regular people, should we hide?" Jesus, ever the minimalist, said, "Best not. Best adapt. Let's respect their limited firmware." I begged, "Please, for my sanity, blend in. Something normal, something boring." Within seconds, Krishna transformed into a chubby Scottish tourist, complete with tartan hat. Jesus morphed into his best impression of an average retired postmaster from Glasgow. The transformation was so convincing that even my mango tree hesitated for a second before recognizing them. The meeting of the eras. The temple priest, a sweaty overachiever named Narayana Iyer, came bustling in. The church father, a veteran negotiator called Father Mathai, waddled behind. Both looked suspiciously at my guests. Introductions made, the priest immediately launched into a monologue. Our temple has been seeing low revenue. Solution: we propose cutting 100 ancient trees to build a luxury shrine parking space. Krishna blinked. Jesus looked mildly horrified. Krishna whispered behind his hand, "He wants to cut trees to get closer to me." Irony just died. I tried to keep a straight face as the priest continued. Also, we are planning a new golden chariot, preferably platinum, white gold minimum. Jesus raised an eyebrow, smiled politely, and said, "Surely divinity rides in simplicity, not on metallurgy." The priest nodded sagely, missing the sarcasm completely. Next, Father Mathai took the stage. "Our church needs a new cross. Not ordinary wood. No, it must be cast in white gold, must shine visible up to Kozhikode." Krishna leaned toward Jesus. "Your brand's getting expensive, bro. You should license your logo soon." Jesus muttered, "Next they'll want LED halos." Father Mathai then proudly lectured my guests about Christianity, explaining in grave detail the teachings of Jesus to Jesus himself. Similarly, Iyer explained Krishna's Leelas to Krishna himself, quoting WhatsApp forwards generously. Exit of the enlightened ones. Finally, after a barrage of lectures that would have bored even a statue into tears, the priest and father looked at me disapprovingly. Temple priest declared, "Your guests have no respect for God, maybe atheists." Church father nodded. "Suspicious behavior, must investigate, possibly communists, or worse, artists." As they stormed off into the night, robes flapping, moral outrage flaring, Krishna and Jesus exchanged grins. Krishna, perfectly timed, said, "Of course I'm an atheist," but him, he pointed dramatically at Jesus. "He's an agnostic atheist with minor spiritual FOMO." Jesus laughed, palms raised in playful surrender. I just stood there, somewhere between awe, exhaustion, and dangerous laughter. By 4 a.m. departure. By 4 a.m., as the last embers of night cooled into dawn, Krishna and Jesus rose to leave. They hugged me warmly. No sermon, no moral lesson. Just Krishna saying, "You're doing fine, Tiger. You remember to laugh. That's all that matters." Jesus nodded. "Keep the jackfruit safe, and your heart a little foolish." Then, like smoke swallowed by stars, they were gone. Final reflection. I sat alone in the courtyard, watching the sleepy crows stumble awake. Maybe they came for a message, maybe they came for mangoes. Maybe they came just to mildly irritate a priest and a father. Or maybe their leelas, their miracles, their jokes never needed meaning at all. Maybe joy itself was enough. And that thought kept me smiling long after the world forgot there had ever been gods at my dinner table. Episode 1243, narrated by Sayip Tiger Chew, host of Mango Nights, witness of divine foolishness, guardian of wild joy.